Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. As I watch the storm come in and the rain pitter-patter, what is in a prediction? We're talking predictions. Sports Talk Radio is going nuts, throwing out predictions. If it's anything like it has been, 5-11 and 6-10 and 7-9, blah blah blah. Pull the plug. If it's 10-6, 11-5, oh, it's great. Well, no shit, it's great. Duh. But I'm a person that likes to look behind the numbers. What do the numbers mean? For instance, say they go 5-11 or they go 7-9, something like this. What happened? Did Joe Flacco get injured early? Did they throw in Locke, who wasn't ready? Why were we even in that situation to begin with? Could have we done things differently? Personally, I don't think the Broncos have that easy as a schedule as the so-called, I don't know who's saying the Broncos have this easy schedule. It doesn't look that easy to me. Doesn't look that user-friendly. When I look at it, it looks like it's going to be tough going. At any rate, so what is behind a prediction? I have some predictions. They're a little bit different than the way the Sports Talk Radio likes to throw them out there. Just throwing numbers out there. And then the reaction, well, if it's 8-8, well, it depends. 8-8. Well, what happened? What made it 8-8? Did they have really close games? They could have been 11-5. Who knows, right? Or did they just squeak by just to even make 8-8? Did they just get lucky? And they really should be, 5-11. So, there's a lot more than just, I will make some predictions, for you. Things that I'm pretty sure, what you're going to see. Offensively, I have no faith in Connor McGovern being more than serviceable. I believe that decent defenses will be able to push the middle of the Broncos line into the quarterback's face. That I believe, will Scangarello develop plays that, the rollout, but then again, if Flacco's rolling out, is that going to lead him more susceptible to getting hit and injured? And, will Locke come in? Here's one prediction too. If Joe Flacco is out, you can bet Elway will not let Flacco. If Flacco goes out, will not let Locke sit on the sidelines like he did the other guy he picked up, Mr. Deer in the Headlights. So, but with that said, I will say this. I think Scangarello may actually see early success just based off the fact that nobody will really know what kind of offense, he's going to be running, with Flacco. And it all depends on Flacco's health, too. How long is that going to last? Will he get injured? But we'll just say no injury to Flacco. I would believe that Scangarello would see early success, and that is until teams see what the Broncos are doing and make their adjustments. I'd say about week 6. Well, they'll be making adjustments, but I'd say by week 6 it may not be as easy for them as it has been, and then Scangarello will have to start making the adjustments, to counter however they're stopping the Broncos. The Broncos running game, the Broncos, with their receiving core, if Emanuel Sanders gets back, I think is key to that running game. I'm still not convinced that the receivers are going to fight for routes like Edelman, or are they going to just be out there jogging it? I wasn't really overly impressed with Cortland Sutton. In my opinion, he seemed to kind of go down, but as the season went on. But that also may have to do with adjustments too that teams were making, and then this fact he was a rookie, of course. So we'll see. I'm not sold on the Broncos wide receivers just yet, as other than serviceable outside of Sanders. And again, I predict that Sanders will once again get injured because he hasn't, like Flacco, gone injury-free for a long time. So maybe some early success on offense the first 6 weeks. And if that doesn't happen, it could be a long season for the Denver Broncos. But I'm predicting early success. Will that translate in wins? That may depend on the defense. Predictions for the Denver Broncos defense. Okay. First of all, the Denver Broncos aren't, I would say, stout in the middle, both on the defensive line and in linebacking. This is where we have to see if Fangio has worked his magic. One could say that they're probably even weak there. It's Fangio's job, I think, to, at best case situation, until maybe another draft or free agency where they can get real playmakers, is have a serviceable middle. I don't see the Denver Broncos defense pushing marquee offensive linemen in the quarterback's face. Again, they're serviceable. Maybe they will at times with lesser or equal counterparts on the offensive line when they face. But linebacking, and I just think that the Denver Broncos right now, the way it looks is the prediction, and maybe that it'll get better as the season goes on, but early prediction is they're going to be vulnerable in the middle. I think if a quarterback sticks in the pocket and can get rid of the ball quickly, they'll have success going vertical if they can't get to the quarterback head on, and obviously in the middle. So if the Broncos offense is having any kind of early success, it may be negated by, Fangarello trying to get this defense worked out. I mean, if fans also have to know if the defense isn't exactly, clicking right off the bat, that not to panic, that, they have to figure it out. So it seems to me anyway that the early predictions for this opening of the season is that the offense may be ahead of the defense as far as, playmaking. So I don't, it's going to be really interesting. I think that the schedule is a lot harder than people, for the Denver Broncos that is, than people are making it out to be. I think that they're going to have their hands full, and I think we're going to learn, here's a prediction, is I think we're going to learn right off the bat, where the weaknesses are, where adjustments need to be made, and then we'll see how the new coaching staff handles those adjustments. And that's what I think that the prediction is going to be, whether it's, we'll say the first 8 weeks, whether it's 4-4 or, 7-1 or even worse, maybe 2-6, whatever, something like this. It's all going to depend, on the factors that I'm bringing up, and how well they're able to make adjustments to it. And it's obviously, where we are at the halfway point is going to be probably a good bellwether on, whether or not that they're going to get a handle on the situation. But there's so many things with the Denver Broncos that questions that need to be answered, and so many possibilities. There's injury possibilities, not just Flacco, but is Sanders. When is his injury going to happen? He seems to be injured every year. So will the receivers, other than Fant, you can't go to the well all the time. You rely on the other receivers too. So, are they going to step it up? If not, I don't see really much changing offensively with Flacco. So to sum up a prediction on the Denver Broncos 2019 is thus: everything hinges on the health of Joe Flacco first and foremost. If healthy, they should see early success, I think. This is it's a broken down prediction of Joe Flacco's health. If Joe Flacco gets injured and still plays, but plays injured, that could have a profound effect too on how well this season goes. If he goes out early and you bring Locke in, Katie bar the door. So the 2019 Denver Broncos prediction, we'll say, this is the first 8 weeks. This is what this really is covering. So Joe Flacco is injury-free. Offensively, they should do pretty good. They should have success whether they win games or not. They'll obviously win games or have a better chance to win those games with Joe Flacco healthy and the other of the opponents not really sure those first couple 3 weeks what they're running, how to counter it. I'm also predicting that the NFL will catch up to Scangarello and the Broncos after 6 weeks. And this is, again, with Joe Flacco being healthy, that they will counter whatever that is, that, they'll figure it out. And then, of course, the Denver Broncos then going on will have to make the proper adjustments. So we'll see if, Scangarello and company are up to the task. Defensively, again, if the Broncos offense, they just may be carrying the defense a bit. I'm predicting that the defense will be a bit sluggish when compared to the offense if Joe Flacco is healthy. This is the Joe Flacco healthy first 8 weeks prediction. I'm also saying if he is injured or playing injured or out, you can basically, that'll be the biggest wrench thrown in the whole thing. I do not see Locke emerging in the NFL without, getting some reps under his belt first. Maybe if Flacco goes out 3/4 in the season or is injured 3/4 of the season, maybe he's got enough time under his belt, he can come out and he won't be so deer in the headlights. But the bottom line is the Denver Broncos just better hope that Flacco stays healthy at least for 3/4 of the season.